And we're live. Okay. Hi guys, what's up? My name is Sanya. Welcome back to yet another session about fam health. And usually when you see my face, you know कि कुछ खाना आने वाला है, कुछ रेसिपी वीडियो होने वाली है. But आज हम बहुत कुछ different करने वाले हैं. Of course, we're going to talk about food also, but we're mainly talking about metabolism and how to lose weight through nutrition. And I have a very special guest with me. He has been associated with fam health since a very long time. So let's just go and welcome him. Hi Vaibhav, how are you doing?
I'm doing well, Tanya. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you for being at Fam Health first of all. Now, मेरा basic understanding of what metabolism is कि कुछ लोग होते हैं जो बहुत खाते हैं और उनको कुछ weight पे फर्क नहीं पड़ता और कुछ लोग होते हैं जो कुछ भी नहीं खाते और फिर भी उनका weight gain हो जाता है. So I want you to tell me पहले easy आसान शब्दों में कि metabolism होता क्या है?
To put it simply, your metabolism is basically, the number of calories that your body would burn on a daily basis if you were just doing your regular activities. That's all. It's as simple as that. So if people are more active, so their metabolic rate will be higher. If they're eating well, again, their metabolic rate will be higher, as opposed to people who are maybe living a sedentary lifestyle, or who are eating junk food, street food, or even if they have long gaps between meals, that also causes
Okay.
your metabolic rate to drop actually.
Okay, so is it like it's higher in people who have more muscle, more fat? What is it like? Is it higher like some people and like lower? So what is that logic? कि कुछ लोग खाते हैं उन पे weight नहीं बढ़ता. ये क्या logic है?
So to put it simply, see, obviously people who have more muscle, their metabolism will be higher. Okay, it will be faster. They'll have a higher metabolic rate, as opposed to people who have more fat on their body. And the reason is very simple. See, muscle is something which is a desired aspect in the body. We want more muscle. It's good for us. Okay, not only from metabolism perspective, but more muscle means you are stronger, you have more stamina. Okay, your organs will be healthier as well. And more muscle means that your blood supply needs to be higher. So the muscles have a higher demand, and because of this, the metabolism of that individual will always be higher. As opposed to someone who has more fat in their body, the demands in terms of the muscle being lesser would be very low. So the blood circulation is also much slower and lesser. Therefore, the metabolism automatically goes down. So just to differentiate as to why people with more muscle have a higher metabolic rate as opposed to people with more fat.
Okay, does like metabolism also like does it have a difference if you're a man or a woman? Is there any difference in your metabolism?
There will definitely be a difference because there are certain aspects, okay, there are certain parameters which are different. Men tend to have more muscle, first of all, than women. Okay. Secondly, then, men have more water content also in their body. So there are these factors which obviously determine that. Now, if we were to equate a man and a woman with very, very similar physical parameters, then we might be able to match up in terms of their metabolic rate.
Yeah.
But generally, yes, men, just owing to the fact that they usually have more muscle on their body. Okay.
Okay.
I'm talking about similar individuals here. I'm not talking comparing people who are maybe obese versus someone who's
okay.
Yeah.
Okay, got it. Okay, so this is a myth. I don't know if this is a myth, but I just read this that your metabolic rate begins to slow down as early as, at the age of 20.
Mm-hmm.
Is this true? Like when you're 20, in your 20s, the metabolic rate slows down?
This is very subjective. Now, if someone is 20 years old, and if they're very active, they're working out regularly or they're playing sports, the amount of muscle that they have in their body, the food that they will be consuming obviously would be of a higher quality. Then naturally their metabolic rate will be higher as compared to their peers who basically are not living a similar lifestyle. So this is very subjective in nature. Maybe what happens and maybe what you read could be based on a certain case study wherein they interviewed or they observed people that after 20, see at around 20 or 21, people usually start working. They've kind of graduated with school and college, and that's when they start working, and that's when they start neglecting themselves. They eat whatever's available. They stop, devoting time towards physical activity.
Yeah,
They
correct.
take the hit as well. So, I mean, if you couple all these things together, your metabolism is going to take a hit, right? So
Okay.
whatever you read could be based around that, but it is very subjective. If you live a very healthy lifestyle, and again, healthy is a very vague term. I usually like to define it by taking a few things, few parameters. One should be active. You should move. I'm not saying you need to go to the gym, but you should just be active. You could walk. You could do a jog. You could do yoga. You could move around a lot, the entire day. Eating right is very important, so you need to eat good quality nutrients rather than eating processed foods. The mind also is plays a very big role here. So it's easy to say that we should be stress free, but then we should know how to manage the things that are causing us the stress.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
all these things play a very big role in determining the single aspect called metabolism.
Okay, so of course, when we are like teenagers and kids, we're eating right and we're doing a lot of physical activities. So, like, is exercise a good way to boost your metabolism? Because we kind of stop doing that when we're older.
Absolutely. Exercise is one of the key elements for boosting metabolism, more so than the food. Food will have its own role. But how exercise will play a role, like just when I gave you the comparison between someone who has more muscle versus more fat, the demands of the muscles in our body are higher. They require more nutrition, more blood flow, right? When we exercise, these parameters go up. When we exercise, for example, we're doing a workout for the legs, the squats, the lunges, for example. The brain basically sends the signal to the cardiovascular system to redirect more blood supply to the limbs, to the lower limbs, because the demand is much higher at that time. We need more oxygen, more nutrition in the legs at that time to be able to do our workout more efficiently. When that happens, the muscles grow, they grow in size. They also undergo a process called angiogenesis. Angiogenesis is basically a process in which the number and amount of muscle fibers and blood vessels increase. So you see where when someone is able to maintain consistency when it comes to this, the amount of blood flow, the amount of muscles, they grow, they increase in size. And
Yeah.
naturally, that calorie output that I was talking about, how many calories you burn in the entire day when we're defining metabolism,
Yeah.
that need will automatically go up. That output will definitely increase. So
All
exercise.
right.
That's why there is so much emphasis given on the role of exercise.
Okay. Are there like any particular kind of exercises that we can do to increase our metabolism?
I sometimes feel that I should have been an expert on exercise as well because I get thrown that question so much. But I can only share from personal experience and what we know from
Yeah.
working with athletes. Uh, the kind of exercises that would increase the muscle mass the most would be strength based exercises. What are strength based exercises now? Strength based just for the audience basically. Strength
Yeah.
based exercises are those in which you would be isolating certain muscles and then working on them. For example, we were doing bicep curls, shoulder presses, a chest press, a push up, a pull up. So these are isolated exercises when you're working on a set group of muscles only.
Okay.
The and why does the muscle increase the most is because you are engaging the maximum muscles at that time. Then involving yourself in compound movements. Compound movements are those which involve the use of more than one muscle at a time. For example, if I'm doing a squat, I'm not using only the front of my legs, I'm using the back of the legs as well. I'm using my calf muscles as well. I'm using my glutes as well. I'm using the sides of my legs, which are the abductors and the adductors as well. Plus, you're engaging the core, your back muscles. So, those are wonderful exercises. They give you very good results. So, these are kind of exercises that can actually help you boost your metabolism.
All right, so I want to quickly ask my viewers that whatever questions that you might have, put them in the comment section below. We'll get them answered. There are a lot of fun, other interesting chats on famhealth.in/community and our social media. So tune into that if you want more answers. Vaibhav, let's now go to food. What can we eat our way to like a faster metabolic system?
Okay. It would be great, right? If we just had a couple of those things,
Yeah,
just eat it and, have quick results.
of course. Or
So,
is it like a lot of hard work with like exercise and food and everything together?
see, it's always best to couple everything together:
All right.
exercise, food, sleep, a little bit of meditation, a little bit of self soothing. We need to give importance to the things we like also. So, as a nutritionist, I don't tell people that, what, you have to eat right and you have to eat right 24/7. I'm human after all. I would enjoy certain foods as well. I would say, you know what, you can have this once in a while in moderation. Don't binge on it. The problem is that we lose control. We let, we let
Correct. I 100% relate. It's like you're telling me my story.
and you should know you're not alone because this is very common. You know, this
Yeah.
we do emotional eating, we lose control. Our stress hormones take over, and then yeah, we just go haywire when it comes to our food.
Of course, yeah.
So, one, I would like to highlight one industry myth that is there, because you were also speaking about a certain myth when it came to those 20
Yeah.
years, right? The overemphasis on the consumption of protein is a big problem. Most of the people who are physically active, be it in sports or be it in the gym, they emphasize too much on the consumption of excess proteins in their diet, that too being derived from animal based sources.
Yeah.
So, eggs, chicken, meat. Okay, there are a lot of people who are eating fish as well. I discourage that. Why? Because it has far more side effects than you would gain. I would
Yeah.
say yes, you need your protein, but try to get your proteins from vegetarian sources. Now, someone might argue, and you might get something in the comment section here, that it's not possible to get enough protein from your vegetarian sources. Well, we have so much of research to back this up, that the amount of protein you will get from vegetarian sources is more efficient and more bioavailable in nature. What
All
does
right.
that mean? For example, if I'm consuming 10 grams of vegetarian protein, high quality vegetarian protein, for example, things coming from beans, peas, chickpeas, for example, mushrooms, my body would absorb very close to 8 to 9 grams of those 10 grams, which means that's about an 80 to 90% efficient eating rate. Whereas if I'm getting 10 grams of protein from a chicken or meat, the body, because it is not able to digest animal protein, see, we have evolved over a period of millenniums. Okay, we used to be non-vegetarians as a species, but we've evolved. Our anatomy and physiology does not support our eating animal protein. There's a
Yeah.
lot of wastage of energy. So while I'm eating 10 grams of protein from chicken, my body is only in the end going to utilize 3 to 4 grams of it.
Okay.
So what I'm doing is, I'm first of all forcing my digestive system to eat the meat. Secondly, I'm not even getting that the protein that I'm expecting to get. So one, we need the protein. It helps in boosting the metabolism, but you need to get it from the right sources.
All right.
Second, one of the nutrients which we tend to neglect, which is the fiber. We usually only speak of carbohydrates, proteins, fats. सब कुछ इन्हीं के around revolve करता है. There is nothing else. Your fiber
Yeah.
is very important. When there is more fiber in your diet, your digestive system basically has to work overtime to digest that fiber, and which is a good thing. And fiber forms what we like to call the food for your gut bacteria or the pre-bacteria. The microbiome or the bacteria in your gut, they're living organisms. Unka role kya hai? What are they responsible for? They are responsible basically for ensuring that your gut is able to adapt and evolve to the changing environment inside, the changing conditions of your food, the changing environment outside. Do you think you and I are getting excuse me, do you think you and I are getting uncontaminated pure food today? We don't even
Not at
have pure
all.
water to drink.
Yeah. Correct.
So our body is responsible for not only taking all this nonsense, but it has to adapt according to it. So if your gut bacteria is not healthy, do not expect anything else to be healthy. It all starts with the gut. Giving it good amount of fiber will ensure the gut bacteria are healthy, and therefore the digestive system is healthy. This will also
Okay.
boost up your metabolism. Never forget.
Okay. Yeah.
So these two key elements would be important for better metabolic rate, coupled with an active lifestyle, obviously.
All right. So we have a community question, and they're asking what kind of drinks should one consume to improve metabolism, like buttermilk, coconut water, milk, fruit juice, etc., and at what time?
Okay. So you mentioned a lot of things there. I strictly do not propagate consumption of dairy-based foods, which is your milk, buttermilk, consumption of paneer and cheese, primarily because they do not get digested in the gut. Okay,
Okay.
you are better off consuming things like coconut water, herbal teas, which you can make at home. These will help boost your metabolism. Coconut water, not so much. Coconut water, otherwise, is a very good drink because it is full of electrolytes. So if you are someone who sweats during your exercise or are physically active, the potassium and magnesium content in your coconut water is very good for good muscle contraction and good blood circulation. So you can have it during or post your exercise. From a metabolic perspective, drinking your herbal teas like green tea, white tea, blue teas, you can throw in some ingredients like ginger and all. They will help boost your metabolism a little bit. But to expect that I can do anything I want in the entire day, and those 2 cups of teas will help take care of my metabolism,
Yeah.
if I've had a burger or a pizza today, all of you listening out there, it doesn't work like that. You need to
Okay.
start respecting your body. You need consistency. There has to be discipline. You cannot negate what you've done today by just exercising an hour extra tomorrow or eating a clean meal tomorrow. You need to you need to eat clean always throughout, with a few deviations here and there. Obviously, we are human at the end of the day. We have
Yeah.
our emotions, we have our likes and dislikes, but consistency is key.
All right. So can we do this? At least if you're saying pura din junk mat khao and then chai mat pio, is it okay if we like binge throughout the weekend and then compensate during the week?
Is that a question for you?
Yeah, it is from me, and I hope a lot of other people also.
Yeah, that's common. I get this a lot. That above week, can we eat clean 5 to 6 days in a week and then just go all out on the Sunday?
I mean, we all need cheat days, right?
Yeah,
I'm
you need
sure you also do.
a cheat meal is much better.
All
Okay,
right.
a
Okay.
cheat meal is much better because if you made progress in those 6 days by having a day full of maybe junk food, and let's be very very candid here, alcohol maybe,
Yeah.
okay. There's no shame in accepting, and then people might have some other indulgences as well. They'll compromise their sleep as well. They will not exercise on a Sunday. So if you do all of that, let's say those 6 days of hard work would equate no more than to 2 or 3 days. So you've lost 3 days basically. So you take
Okay.
basically 2 steps forward, you're taking 1 step back.
Yeah.
So, and try to reduce the frequency, have it every alternate week, maybe. Uh, while we feel wonderful having that cheat meal or that cheat day and we must be looking forward to it, I think we still have not, I mean, all of us have still not experienced the true potential of our body and what really feeling good is like. All we can associate with when it comes to feeling good is maybe having drinks with our friends or family, having a cheat meal. See, these things help the secretion of a hormone called dopamine. It makes us feel great about ourselves, that,
Yeah.
what, I'm eating chocolate or I'm eating a burger or a pizza, I'm having a alcohol with my friends, or I'm smoking with my peers. But people are, because they've been neglecting their bodies, they don't really know what feeling good is like. Feeling good is about waking up fresh in the morning, going to exercise, being able to progressively run longer, run faster, lift more weight. We don't even do our own work nowadays. So I think
Yeah.
feeling good is all about actually feeling good from the inside and not being dependent on a glass of wine or that pizza or
Yeah.
anything else that we indulge in.
I think same with coffee. When you have coffee, you have this adrenaline rush, right?
Absolutely,
But
absolutely.
then is it like healthy for us? Is it, what is it? Can we drink coffee?
The occasional coffee is fine, but then coffee usually is not an occasional affair. If you are a
Okay.
coffee drinker, and when I say you, I'm generalizing, if one is a coffee drinker, you would be having coffee every day or a tea every day. And if you become a regular consumer of coffee or tea, the frequency usually will go from 1 to 2 and 2 to 3 by default. It happens.
Yeah.
Because again, it helps secrete the dopamine and it gives us that feeling of relaxation.
Okay. Yeah.
So coffee does the same thing. I definitely discourage people from having caffeine regularly. Opt for herbal teas. That's why I always opt for more herbal
Yeah.
teas. Yeah.
Okay. So we have another question from the community.
So,
Neha is asking, can you suggest some main sources of fiber?
main sources of fiber. Okay, I mean, that's pretty simple.
Yeah.
All your vegetables, all your fruits, that's all fiber. That's lots and lots of fiber. Now, how you can ensure that you're benefiting from this fiber is, one, you should try to eat seasonal. we're sitting in the winter season right now. This is the time when we actually get the most nutritious foods. If someone has deeper pockets, you can opt for a little bit of organic produce. um, Honestly though, organic produce is not 100% organic, but at least 20 to 30% better. So again, this is for people
Yeah.
who want to explore that option. So eat your vegetables, eat your fruits, eat lots of nuts. Our traditional akroot, badam,
Yeah.
pista. Go all out. I mean, it's winter time. This is the time to eat
Yeah.
all these things.
Are there specific vegetables also that can help you improve your metabolism?
See, anything that is rich in fiber, your vegetables, everything will help, see, promote gut health, and as a result, help boost your metabolism. You can't really pinpoint on one particular vegetable. So, what are the seasonal vegetables? See, there's radish, there is your palak and methi, your greens. Carrots are, part of the season. And uske alawa, whatever vegetables you like, go out there, have them, buy them, make them in your house regularly. I mean, I know in my household, me and my wife, even my folks, I mean, we use a lot of vegetables. We're eating sabzi, we're eating salad. Even if we're making an utpam, it's loaded with vegetables. Even if we're eating a paratha, it doesn't have aloo in it. It's loaded with vegetables only. So
Okay.
these are small things that you can do at home yourself. See, you don't need a cook, you don't need a dietitian, you don't need an expert for this. This is common sense. So eat your vegetables, eat your fruits, your dry fruits, your nuts. The other things that have a lot of fiber, and we usually never speak about them, are your legumes and your dals. So dal would be like anything: moong dal, masoor dal, arhar dal, urad dal. And your legumes are your beans, rajma, chole, black chana, lobia beans. They're very, very rich in fiber.
Yeah.
We usually call the nuts and the seeds the superfoods, but even the legumes and dals are also, I mean, they can easily be classified as superfoods.
Okay. So you talked about salads, and I'm the sort of person I love salads, but only when they're like a lot of sauces, a lot of salad dressing. Is there a way we can replace that also?
So those are artificial flavorings.
Yeah.
Yeah, so if you ever turn the dressing bottle around and see the ingredients, you really
Yeah.
won't find any natural ingredients on there. There
Hmm.
is no replacement for anything synthetic.
Yeah.
What you can do is compromise a little on those flavors and opt for things like vinegar. So you can add vinegar. You can add more of natural flavorings that you can make at home. So you can make a mixture of lemon, a little bit of ginger, add some salt, pepper. Can't expect the same taste, flavor, texture. Okay, I'm not going to
Yeah.
lie to you. But
Okay.
we become habitual to eating these things. You might love your salad, but then you love your salad partly because it has those wonderful dressings
Yeah.
on them. You need to start just making that shift. Try, one salad at a time, or maybe one dressing at a time to cut.
Yeah.
And if you still enjoy your salads, nothing like it. And a
Okay.
salad doesn't have to be something exotic. I was actually referring to salads like the basic cucumber, tomato,
Yeah. Okay.
gajar
Huh.
at home. Very simple.
Okay. So there are a lot of diets these days. There's intermittent fasting, there's keto diet. What is the best diet to increase your metabolism?
Um, you should first of all understand your body a little bit.
All right.
I encourage a lot of intuitive eating. Mhm. I might tell you as an expert that you must consume so and so food. What if it doesn't work for you? Are you going to continue consuming it? No,
Mm.
because it's causing you discomfort or maybe some kind of other reaction. Intuitive eating is very important, and these so-called diets that are there in floating around in the market right now, I say there is no such thing as a diet. Diet is basically just something that you are eating in a single meal.
Yeah.
That's your diet. Okay, the keto diet, first of all, should not be practiced. Okay, it is something that was mainly formulated for people with neurological disorders. It had one of the side effects of that diet was that it caused weight loss. So people started picking that up for weight loss, but uska purpose ye nahi tha. Okay, intermittent fasting again is something that all of us are practicing unknowingly, unconsciously most of the time. We all are supposed to give
Yeah.
the digestive system a break for 12 hours, if not more, at least 12 hours. That does qualify as intermittent fasting. If someone is eating in the late hours of the night and then starts eating again before that 12-hour fast, so technically they're abusing their system. So for them, we need to emphasize more on the intermittent fasting part. Though naturally we should all be doing it. We've been doing it for centuries. We should continue doing it. Again, if you see, it's not any diet as such. It's just good practice. Eat for 12 hours. I mean, we don't need a larger window to eat, honestly.
Yeah.
If I wake up, so I wake up at 7 o'clock. Okay. I have my meal max by 7:30 because at 8:30 I have to hit the gym. I need 60 to 70 minutes for my food to start kicking in so that I can get the energy from it to work out. I do my CrossFit in the morning. I know and then by 8:30, I'm done, with my dinner. So maybe technically 12 hours nahi ho rahange, but 11 to 12 hours are there. So we owe it to ourselves to give our digestive system a break as well.
Yeah.
So there is no diet as such. You need to understand what works for you. What our role would be that um, you as an individual might come to us with a certain goal that, okay, you know what, maybe my weight is on the higher side. I have cholesterol issues. I'm diabetic. I'm hypertensive. This is my current lifestyle. This is my family history. These are my reports. So I would
Yeah.
study all of this. Based on that, I would give you something to follow. Because for me, your clinical health is important. I need to keep the genetics in mind. I need to keep your long term goals in mind as well. I, by the way, don't
Yeah.
even work with short term goals. If people come to me that, boss, 2 महीने है मेरे पास, 10 किलो घटाने हैं. I have to lose 10 kilos in 2 months. I tell them you can go onto Google. There are tons of people out there who can help you with short term goals. I don't work with unsustainable and non practical techniques. You cannot
Yeah.
compromise your health just to get that weight up and down.
Correct.
Yeah. So no
Okay.
diet, no diet.
All right. Also, does it matter at what time do you have your meal? Because a lot of people say don't have anything after 7 p.m. Does it have any relation with metabolism also?
Of course it does. So as the sun goes down, your body's metabolism also starts slowing down. Ideally, we are supposed to function with the circadian rhythm, which is the cycle of the sun. When the sun comes up, we should come up. When the sun goes down, we should go down.
Yeah.
But we don't do that. So I encourage people try to replicate it as closely as possible. Okay. If sun comes up at 6, for example, it's winters right now, so sun comes up at 6 maybe, get up by 7 or 8 max, it's okay. And try to finish your meal by 8 again. It's not difficult. You just require
Yeah.
a little bit of discipline, little bit of control. Once you start doing it for a couple of weeks, it becomes a habit.
Yeah.
If you eat late in the night, when your metabolic rate is already very, very low, and when your digestive system, just like your other organs, dhire dhire are slowing down, you can't expect your digestive system to go into fifth gear suddenly. If you do that, then your digestive system, which should be resting, would be working overtime at night. There will be no efficient utilization of any nutrients. Okay, a lot of it will be going waste. There'll be no rest given to the system. Your body will be in a state of stress when you are sleeping, and a lot of those wasted nutrients would be getting converted to fat, and we all hate
Mm.
fat on our bodies, right?
Yeah, for sure. Okay, now there are some people who are suffering from PCOD and PCOS. Is that also related to metabolism? Can that affect how high or low your metabolism is?
So there are a couple of things that happen when you have PCOD. There might be an excess production of the male hormone, the androgens, testosterone maybe, which should not be happening for the females, obviously. There might be a case of insulin resistance, which basically means that the insulin hormone, which is responsible for the efficient absorption of glucose into the cell, might not be functioning properly. Okay? Then there is the added aspect of weight gain being there. Now, weight gain is not necessary. You would have, I mean, people listening and those who can relate will know that even people with an ideal weight can have PCOD because other factors might be dominating. So, if you are able to again check all these things, see, PCOD is a lifestyle disorder. No girl was born with it.
Yeah.
It comes about as a result of your lifestyle habits. There are people, you will not believe, there are people who over exercise as well, thinking that if they do, they'll be of an ideal weight and their metabolism will be higher. No, even people who over exercise are overburdening their bodies. There's more stress, and then that stress can also be a factor, and it could lead to PCOD and PCOS. So minimizing all the stressful factors basically would be ideal in maintaining or rather reversing your PCOD. So what is that so-called ideal lifestyle, stress-free lifestyle? Sleeping, timely, 7 to 8 hours of sleep are very important in a timely manner. Not that you sleep at 1 and you wake up at 9. No, people tell
Yeah.
me I'm sleeping 8 hours, I sleep at 2 and I wake up at 10. No, it doesn't work like that. Go to bed early, get up early, get active. Okay, you can do yoga, you can go to the gym, do whatever you want. Eat clean food, eat good vegetarian nutritious food,
Yeah.
some time for meditation, do the things that you like as well, socializing, for example. Now that is one aspect which has taken a hit in the last year, about a year or so. But then we have to condition our mind to believe that ये ऐसे ही है, ऐसे ही रहेगा, things will
Mhm.
change with time, so things will come around. But eliminating those stressful factors is very important if you want to get rid of PCOD.
Okay, we have another question from the community. For an overweight person, is banana okay to have before your workout in the morning?
Yeah, absolutely. Banana is absolutely fine to eat. It's got your dose of sugar as well. Your carbohydrates plus it's got some potassium and magnesium, which is very good for your workouts. But see, again, being overweight is very subjective. If this person is bordering on obesity, then I anyway curtail the consumption of fruits, or we moderate it and we time it in such a way that there is efficient absorption of the fructose. Otherwise, generally, there is not a problem with banana consumption before the workout. It's a good thing to consume.
Okay, and fruits and vegetables is like there are time कि सिर्फ ये वाले fruits morning में खाने चाहिए और ये वाले evening में खाने चाहिए? Yeah, can we have fruits whenever
Yeah,
we
you
want?
can have fruit through the day. Having them early in the morning is obviously a good idea. Having them in the daytime is much better. Try to avoid your fruits late in the evenings or in the night. That's not the time to have them. Uh,
Okay.
Vegetables, so yeah, you're good. You're good to eat vegetables whenever you want.
All right, those are all the questions. Thank you so much for doing this with us. It was really informative to have you on Fam Health. Please keep coming back and giving us so much knowledge. Do you
All
have any
right.
last words for our viewers?
Last words. Okay.
Sandra, how to be healthy?
Discipline is key. See, if you can't mend your ways when it comes to your food, for example, um, let's say you can't exercise either. See, there are a lot of people that tell me मैं एक्सरसाइज नहीं कर सकता, आप मुझे कुछ भी डाइट दे दो, आप मुझे कुछ भी दवाई दे दो, सप्लीमेंट्स दे दो, and I'll be ready
Mhm.
to do that, but I can't exercise. You can start off with what you can do. Maybe get your sleep cycle in check. For one, maybe
Yeah.
start a walk, maybe start cutting out processed foods. These things are possible. Start one small step at a time. Make a log, make a note of everything. If you feel nothing is possible, then you can maybe take the guidance of an expert on this. But you need to start somewhere. You owe it to yourself.
Yeah.
Abhi, especially in this time of pandemic, um, there's this cliched saying, health is wealth. But I think
Yeah.
people will be able to actually relate to that today.
Yeah.
If you are healthy, if your immunity is good, you will be protected from this what flu-like virus, whatever it is. There's a lot of debate on what it actually is, but whatever it is a virus, right? So if your immunity is good, you'll stay away from it.
All right.
So just try to do whatever you can for yourself. You owe it to your body. If your body is not going to support you, I mean, no matter what wealth you have or whatever you have in your life,
Of
it's
course, my nanny says, "Jaan hai to jahan hai."
बिल्कुल बिल्कुल सही बोला आपकी नानी ने.
Of course, thank you so much for doing this with us. To all our viewers, this chat will be available on our social media, and a lot of other chats are available on famhealth.in/community and our social media. We will see you next time. Bye.